time with DK Schoolhouse. Good evening, boys and girls. Today we're going to read the story about Flick the Inventor from A Bug's Life. Now, if you haven't seen the cartoon A Bug's Life, you should go and have a look at it because it's really funny. Now, there's Flick and there's his invention. I'm not quite sure what it is, and we're going to find out. Here we go. Flick the Inventor. Have you ever wanted to invent something? I know I have. Princess Dot and some of the blueberries stood outside of Flick's room in the anthill. Pop, wheeze, gulp, came the noises from inside. As always, Flick was trying to invent something to help the ant colony. Can you see that? He was always trying to do his best to help the ant colony. Maybe we should ask him if he needs help, Dot suggested. But before anyone could answer, there was a loud thump. Oh my gosh, I felt that too. Flick bounced out of the room, landing at Dot's feet. Flick muttered as he stood up and brushed himself off. The flinging mechanism must be too tight. There you can see Flick is talking to Dot, and they're discussing if it is too tight. Flick was so deep in thought he didn't even notice Dot and her friends. That's not a very nice thing. That's not very polite, is it? He marched right past them and back into his room. Well, Dot said, at least we know he's okay. Oh my goodness. So he didn't take care of his friends at all. He just went straight off into his room, which is not a nice thing to do because it will make his friends feel sad. The next morning, Dot saw Flick at the edge of the field with a funny-looking machine. Hi, Flick, Dot said. What you working on? Oh, hello, Princess, said Flick. He smiled happily. This is my pick-up and mover machine. Now, can you see that? That is a very cool invention. He made a machine to pick up things to bring back to the ant colony out of an old leaf. And you can use an old leaf for all kinds of things. Did you know that? You can use a leaf, I can tell you one way how, is to make crayon rubbings. So if you take an old leaf and you put it on the table, and then you put some paper on top, and you get a crayon, and you color all over on top of it, you're going to make a really beautiful design. That's an invention you should try. And Dot looks pretty impressed, don't you think? She looks quite happy. How does it work? Asked Dot. Here, let me show you, Flick said as he helped Dot up onto a rock. Then he started the machine. And there he goes, starting it away. Soon, an arm on the machine reached out and grabbed Dot. Ah, that tickles, she said, giggling. Suddenly, Dot felt herself being lifted up into the air. And she is, just like that. You can see that? It's pinching and grabbing her and lifting her up into the air. My goodness. A moment later, she landed safely on the ground. I was a little bit worried for Dot, weren't you? Wowee! Cried Dot. Look how far I moved. Excellent, Flick said. I am glad I adjusted that flinging mechanism. Otherwise, you might have ended up on Ant Island. Ooh. Do you know where Ant Island is? I don't, but I don't think I want to end up there. And it looks like Dot didn't want to end up there either. So there's Flick with his invention. Just then, Thorny appeared. Flick, Thorny said, why aren't you collecting food with the rest of the worker ants? Uh-oh. So Flick wasn't really supposed to be making inventions, was he? No. He was supposed to be collecting food with the other ants. Hello, Thorny. I was hoping you'd ask me that very question, Flick replied. You see, I have invented a new machine. Would you like to see how it works? And he's showing Thorny his machine. Does Thorny look very happy? No, he does not. I think he deserves the name Thorny because he looks pretty thorny. Thorny was angry. And so we thought, we don't have time for all these silly inventions. There's work to be done. We need to collect food. But, Flick tried to explain, just get to work like the other ants. Thorny called as she stomped away. Flick hung his head. Oh, man. He does not look happy, Thorny, and Flick and Dot look a little bit scared. But they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Don't worry, Flick, Dot said. You'll figure out some way to use your invention. I just know you will.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, it must be good for something, but what?
Flick said to Dot as he walked out to the fields to work. So now it looks like Flick is feeling discouraged. Can you see that? He just left his invention behind. There it is. He just left it behind, and he's going off to do the work that Thorny told him to do. Later that night, Flick sat in his room trying to think of a useful invention. Have you ever sat in your room and tried to think of something really cool to make? Suddenly he got an idea. He worked deep into the night. There he is, thinking and working and working. What do you suppose he's working on? Let's see. Early the next morning, Dot found Flick outside looking intently at a large stalk.
Flick, she said, you'd better get out in the fields with the other ants. Thorny's been looking for you.
Uh-oh. See, she's being nice and she's trying to help him out and warn him.
Sure I will, Dot, Flick said.
But wouldn't you like to see my latest invention?
It's a stalk chopper. Flick, you're gonna get in trouble,
Dot warned.
You're supposed to be collecting food.
So, he is busy working on inventions and actually he's supposed to be collecting food. So, Dot does have a point. He may get in trouble. But does Flick look very worried about it? I don't think so. He looks pretty happy.
Yes, Flick said. I will. Right after I try this out. Now stand back, Princess.
Flick started up his machine and set to work. So there, if you look real closely, you can see his machine. You see the ends of the stalk right there? And there's his machine getting to work. Moments later, the stalk was chopped neatly in half.
Aha! Flick cried. It worked. How do you like that, Princess?
But Dot didn't answer. Thorny did. Uh-oh. How many times do I have to tell you there's work to be done? Cried Thorny.
But Thorny, Flick said, look at this. This is my new stalk chopping invention.
We don't have time for this, Thorny insisted.
But I'm sure,
Flick began to say. Whoa, you can see Thorny is not happy, and Flick is very happy with what he made.
But Flick, I'm sure.
We don't chop stalks. We need to collect food, Thorny told him. Flick's antenna drooped. You know how many antennas ants have? Those two antennas at the top of their head? Yep, they droop right down. And he walked out to the fields to join the other worker ants. That's all Thorny thinks about. Harvesting food, harvesting food, harvesting food, Flick grumbled to himself. So off he goes, and there's Princess Dot. She's just watching him leave. And there you can see Thorny is giving him a lecture for not listening. Then Flick stopped short.
That's what we need, he cried. A harvester. We need a harvester to collect food.
Flick turned around and raced back to his room. He looked at his pick-up and mover machine. Then he looked at his stalk chopper machine.
Which one should I choose? What if I combine them?
Flick thought out loud.
I guess there's only one way to find out.
So he's really looking and taking a careful look at his invention, you can see there, and trying to find out what's the best one. And he's going to combine them, put them together, and make something even more special. The following morning, with his new invention strapped to his back, Flick headed towards the fields. He smiled as he watched two ant children run past him playing tag. Then he waved to some workers in the field who were doing what Thorny told them to do and collecting food. Flick sighed happily.
He knew that his invention would save the worker ants hours and hours of working time. In fact, Flick thought he might become something of a hero. Ooh. Have you ever wanted to be a hero, boys and girls? I think our next challenge should be dressing up like your favorite superhero. What do you think? Let me know. So there he is with his invention, and he's very happy, and he's saying, "Hi, hello, everybody," to all the other ants. Flick tried to get Thorny's attention, but Thorny was too busy talking to Princess Alta, and Princess Dot was nowhere to be found. I wonder what happened to her. "Flick," one of the worker ants called out, "what crazy thing did you invent this time?" Ha, 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 ha. The other ants laughed too. "That Flick," they said. "He's always thinking up useless stuff." They're mocking him because they don't think his invention is going to work. And there they are. You can see they're giving him a big old laugh and saying, "Ha, ha, 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 it's not going to work." But Flick didn't mind the other ants teasing. He was busy starting up his machine. Then he cut down a stalk. Moments later, the flinging mechanism launched dozens of pieces of grain into a basket. Flick's machine had worked. So there you have it. His stalk cutting machine actually worked and helped to save the ants lots of time cutting the stalks by themselves. And that's a pretty cool machine if you look at it. See that? See how he made it out of just a leaf? "Hey," cried one of the worker ants, "that's your pickup and mover machine." "That's right," Flick said happily, and he was very happy indeed with his project. "And it's connected to your stalk chopping machine?" asked the other ants. "Uh-huh," Flick said proudly. "Wow!" shouted all the worker ants. And there they are, so very, very impressed with Flick's 2-in-1 invention. "Yup, I put them together and I made a harvester," Flick explained. "Now, one ant can collect as much food as a whole bunch of ants put together." "Hooray!" cried the other ants. "3 cheers for Flick! 3 cheers for Flick! 3 cheers for Flick!" Flick smiled. He'd done it. He had finally created a really, really useful machine. And that's the end of the story of Flick and his invention.